If misery loves company, these two have much to bond over. The president of France arrived in Ottawa ahead of the G7 summit, struggling with the same problem as the prime minister: how to deal with Donald Trump.
There will be some very direct conversations on issues where there's been disagreement.
Ahead of their first meeting on Canadian soil, there may be new tensions between Justin Trudeau and the U.S. president.
Sources say the president had a contentious phone call with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau over the tariffs.
As first reported by CNN, just 2 weeks ago, the pair had a testy phone call over tariffs. A senior source tells CBC News Trudeau argued Canada should be exempt since it is not a threat to U.S. national security. Trump replied, "Didn't you guys burn down the White House?" A reference to the War of 1812. Trump may have been joking, and today the White House downplayed any rift between Ottawa and Washington.
I have no doubt that the United States and Canada will remain firm friends and allies, whatever short-term disagreements may occur.
Trump's top economic advisor says the U.S. has no plan to kill its tariffs on steel and aluminum, despite backlash from Canada and the rest of its G7 partners.
I regard this as much like a family quarrel.
But there are new fears that so-called quarrel may get worse. The Foreign Affairs Minister says she's seen the U.S. news reports suggesting the Americans may impose more economic punishments on Canada, though Chrystia Freeland says she's been given no heads up about any new tariffs.
Having said that, as we have said from the beginning, Canada believes in hoping for the best and preparing for the worst.
When the White House dismisses tariffs as a family quarrel or says Canada is overreacting, those comments are not welcome here in Ottawa. A senior source says that's like burning down your brother's house, killing your dog, kidnapping your daughter, and then turning around to say, "What's your problem?" It's a feeling that may be shared by some heading into the G7. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, as to the U.S. president's comment about burning down the White House, joking or not, there is, of course, a small problem. It wasn't Canada. The White House curator sets the record straight in a video on the president's website.
Remnants of the fire of 1814, when the British burnt the White House during the War of 1812. And then later that night, the British arrived and ate the dinner and then set fire to the building.
Under the command of General Robert Ross, 2,500 troops were sent directly from Great Britain to invade Washington, D.C. The soldiers destroyed both the U.S. Capitol and the presidential mansion. The British attack was in retaliation for American attempts to invade what is now Ontario, which was then still a British colony. Of course, Confederation came 53 years after the burning of Washington.